from your phone, and Pomeli turns it into studio quality marketing images. Multiple angles, different backgrounds, lifestyle shots, campaign ready visuals. It even pulls your brand colors and style automatically. No photographer, no studio, and unlike most AI tools, this one is completely free right now through Google Labs. Fourth, Notebook LM. This one has a genuinely solid free plan. Upload your notes, documents, or research, and it builds summaries, finds connections, and now creates full slides.
Just so you're being recorded, sir. Right there? Yep. We got it.
This video comes from the Othello Police Department. The man being arrested is Kobe Williams. He was a supervisor with ICE. The Associated Press reports that in the year 2022, Williams was arrested in a sting by police in Othello, Washington, while going to a hotel room to meet who he thought was a 13-year-old girl. He'd arranged to pay for sex.
Here.
The American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
Republicans stood and applauded this line for over a minute because of salivate at the opportunity to create an artificial us versus them as geriatric shareholders who are honestly not even cosplaying as Christians anymore, as they applaud the demonization of the most desperate group of humans in the Western Hemisphere. But it's not the cruelty that I care about here, because the cruelty I have come to expect. It's the ignorance. We already know that undocumented immigrants commit crimes at half the rate of US-born citizens. We know from the immigrant data I shared from the Cato Institute a couple of weeks ago an overwhelmingly positive net impact on the economy. We know DHS has shared their own data showing that 70% of the people they've already deported had no criminal record. So if it's not about the immigrants, let's talk about the actual threats that only government can really protect us from. Because for me, I'm thinking about protecting my kids from measles. I'm thinking about protecting my food, water, and air from industrial pollution, protecting my family from hunger and homelessness, my country and community from unnecessary war, my fellow human beings from climate change, and protecting my daughter from men like Trump and those malicious politicians who stood for him. And while Trump dedicated his speech to smearing Democrats and describing gratuitous violence, he didn't utter a single word about cancer research or school safety. He didn't say a single word about the fact that adjusting for inflation since 1980, and they used to have only 3 natural disasters costing us $1 billion or more per year, but we've averaged 26 per year in the last 3 years, all while the Trump administration laid off almost 5,000 people at NASA just last year, almost 2,000 at NOAA and the National Weather Service, and almost 4,000 at EPA, also that he could invade Venezuela so we could try to get his stubby little fingers on the world's largest known reserve of the heaviest, filthiest type of oil known to the human race. Donald, with my whole chest, I 1,000% agree with you. The role of government is to protect American citizens, which is precisely why I will spend the rest of my life to protect this country from you and the frothing fools who applaud you.
There you go. That's good.
They escalated this all the way.
What have I done? This is not my truck. I've never seen.
But that's why you got to go to court, because you damaged someone else's property, ma'am. You damaged someone else's property.
I've never seen that truck before until yesterday, and your glasses are stupid.
Yeah. Ah, see? Now you got spit on your chin.
She spits on her own face, and the spit doesn't travel. And the cop even says,
Now you got spit on your chin. Come here.
She didn't spit on anybody, spit on her own face.
Hey! What the hell? I haven't done anything to you.
You wanted to try to spit at me, got on your own chin, man.
I didn't even touch you with my spit,
You don't have to.
asshole.
The act of it alone is an assault.
They escalated this so they could arrest her. She's going to jail for no reason. She didn't spit on anybody. She spit on her own face. Escalated this all the way.
What have I done? This is not my
Alex Acosta was the U.S. attorney for the southern half of Florida, appointed by George W. Bush, 20 years ago, who stepped in, overrode his own line prosecutors, and cut that sweetheart plea deal with Jeffrey Epstein in 2000.
I was doing a power nap, waiting for Mikey, just listening to that news. Mikey's in here, and I'm picking up Tommy. He's at the gym. How you doing, sir? Mikey's hungry. Metcha. Really hungry.
And pled guilty to one count of solicitation.
Do you know what actually happens to people when they get released from ICE? This is abducting, traumatizing, and then stranding people on a daily basis. So when a judge orders, hey, you have to release this person, you had no right to take them in the first place. ICE is basically rolling open the gate and shoving that person out. Often in the middle of the night, without their coat, in the bitter cold in winter, sometimes without their shoes. ICE is keeping their personal wallets, their identification, their phones, their wedding rings, their engagement rings. But the good people of Aid Northwest in Tacoma and Haven Watch in Minnesota are stepping in. What you're seeing here is crucial resistance work. Volunteers waiting 24 hours a day for immigrants to get dumped out of detention. They're meeting them with a warm blanket, with a coat, with food, with a burner phone, with access to an attorney, with funds, a way to get them home safely, right? This is what mutual aid looks like. What Haven Watch is doing here is not just a humanitarian, compassionate thing to do. It's also an extremely strategic thing to do. The cruelty is the point. So part of mutual aid is making sure that we are interfering with their attempt to inflict cruelty and suffering upon all of us. Refusing to abandon and choosing to care for those who are targeted by the regime, a key component of resistance. Know what actually happens to people.
The cops go into the black community and they want to arrest a man for his music too loud.
Hey, Mr. Newburn, come here. Need to write you a citation. It's loud music. Hey.
It's not racist. He just happens to be black. And like that, but it ain't racist, I swear. Ain't nothing racist about this.
Get his ass out of the car.
Look,
yeah, out of the car.
Hey, grab my bracelet, bro. Hey, my bracelet, bro. This is America.
He's on the ground, they're twerking him and ripping on him. Now they start tasing him and punching him.
Hey, get out of here. It's more you.
Get on the stuff. Get back. Hey, I can't see.
Just think about it for a second. He was just a moment ago listening to music in his car. A moment ago, and now he's face down on the ground in torture cuffs. The cops go into the black community and they want to arrest a man for playing his music too loud.
Hey, Mr. Newburn, come here. Need to write you a citation.
And listen to the guy. We got your citation. We got your citation. Fucking, I'm a redneck. Oh, look at that black guy. We're gonna get him. Look at that. We gotta get him. We got a citation.
It's not racist. He just happens to be black. And they just happen to talk like that. But it ain't racist, I swear. Ain't nothing racist about this.
Get his ass out of the car.
Look,
get his ass out of the car. Get his ass out of the car. Is that how you sound? That's how you sound.
He's on the ground. They're twerking him and ripping on him.
Hey, hold on, man. Hey, nigga, oh, shit.
And now they start tasing him and punching him.
Hey, 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 hey,
Get him out of the car.
Hey, get out of here. Need more units.
You want to
Get him out of the car.
Just think about it for a
Fucking
second. He was
redneck,
just
dude.
a moment ago listening to music
Like John.
in his
That's
car.
how you
That's what he was
sound.
doing.
That's probably you sound like John.
Brother, you are. What's that? What's that, brother?
Look at his face.
Brother, you are. What's that?
Look at this.
What's that, brother?
Look at her face. Oh my God. Steve. Smells like
Brother,
shit.
you are. What's that? What's that, brother?
Look the way she's looking down there.
Brother,
Oh my God.
what's that? What's that, brother?
What's that, brother? She's like backing off. He must really stink, dude. Trump must really stink. He stinks like
Kudos to you, by the way. You've been on this, and
another
since
rape allegation
your
on
series has started on your Substack, we've now had NPR jump on this. We've had the House Oversight Dems put out a formal statement on this. Obviously, there's a lot of evidence here, and I appreciate that you were relentless. Really, let's just be honest, and driving this story. So folks who haven't been following it. Initial story was basically there's this underage accuser who included Trump rape allegations in her lawsuit against Epstein. Tell us what we know about that. There are a lot of layers to this story, so let's just start from square one. Kudos to you, by the way. You've been on this, and since your kind of series has started on your Substack, we've now had NPR jump on this. We've had the House Oversight.
Sexless marriages have one thing in common: a man who grew up being a nice guy.
Hey everybody, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark here with my buddy Roger Solenberger, who has a Substack called Roger Solenberger. Clever Substack title. And he has been all over a very important story about a Trump accuser that was in the Epstein files and the effort to cover up information about her. So, Roger,
sir, you smell. You smell. Are you okay? Did something die up there?
So let's just start from square one.
There you go. I want to hear this. I haven't heard this yet. Have you heard this yet, Tony?
Since your kind of series,
have you heard this? These new allegations, rape allegations that was in an Epstein lawsuit, buried in an Epstein lawsuit. Do you know about this? This shit's crazy. Did you shit yourself, sir? Did you shit yourself, sir? Okay. Let's go.
On your Substack, we've now had NPR jump on this. We've had the House Oversight Dems put out a formal statement on this. Obviously, there's a lot of evidence here, and I appreciate that you were relentless. Really, let's just be honest, and driving the story. So folks who haven't been following it. Initial story was basically there's this underage accuser who included Trump rape allegations in her lawsuit against Epstein. Tell us what we know about that.
Yeah, so it started because I found this claim in a DOJ slideshow, and the reporting has always bothered me that it seemed too deferential. Like, Trump has not been accused of wrongdoing, not credibly accused of wrongdoing, and in my mind, it does seem like even before this, there's stuff. There's
plenty of credible adult accusations. That's what I always kind of want to chime in. Anytime people are like, well, there's no credible accusations of wrongdoing, I'm like, well, I mean, he admitted to sexual assault of women on tape, and he's in the civil trial has been adjudicated for sexual assault, and he palled around with Epstein. Right? It's like there's a lot of evidence of certain types of wrongdoing, but it's a specific question about underage girls.
Yeah, and
Katie Johnson.
To be completely honest, the White House's statements and Trump's bizarre back and forth statements and DOJ's statements, it just seems like that stuff doesn't match the public reporting just about his his friendship with Epstein. I mean, he sues the Wall Street Journal for $10 billion, right?
Yeah.
So I was just wondering, well, maybe what if there is something in the files like everybody else on the planet? And there is this slideshow, and it's from the DOJ. It's an FBI child sex trafficking task force slideshow that they put together with the Violent Crimes Task Force. And it was last summer. And there were several drafts of this that are in the files that, again, all this reporting comes straight from the files. I don't have any secret documents, any secret sourcing or whatever. You can piece this together, right? And on that slideshow, there's a slide that says prominent names, and there are 2 bullet points for Trump. There's a bunch of Harvey Weinstein's on there, Jess Staley, Bill Clinton, Bill Barr, whatever, Howard Lutnick, Prince Andrew, tons of names. And then the first 2, though, are Donald Trump. And the very first one is citing a woman directly telling the FBI, right? It says it's her. And it has this claim of assault when she was a child, when she was between 13 and 14 years old. It's a pretty graphic accusation. Would have dated back to between 1983 and 1985, so an early accusation as well, especially when it comes to Epstein. That's an early accusation, right? But she also claimed to be a victim of Epstein, and this accusation matches a tip that got called in to the FBI. And the way the DOJ rolled this stuff out is we got
the tip that got called into the FBI when, like at the time, or also recently?
In 2019.
Yeah, 2019.
Right? We didn't know that previously, but so in December we saw that sheet that has all these allegations against Donald Trump, right? And the Justice Department preempted that release, saying like, "Hey, these are false claims that have no merit," and there's like, just be warned. And to be sure, like a lot of the claims on there are pretty outrageous. And the FBI actually notes that on the sheet. They say source deemed not credible. They look into all of them. They try to call people back. The people they got in touch with, they say not credible, not probative, like it's documented on there, except for one. And it's the first one on the sheet. That's the claim that is later on this DOJ slideshow, right? Where this woman apparently tells the FBI. And I was like, when I saw that, I was like, what? The FBI did talk to somebody, right? The FBI, and that had never been reported. Now, to be clear, people have, cited this in different ways, but I seem to be the first person to put it together that the FBI talked to her.
Yeah, and again, to your point, like, it is just important to say, right? Like, especially at this point, 2019, like Trump is president, he's famous. Like, sure, it's possible that somebody would do a false report to the FBI, right? Like crazy people call the FBI and say crazy things all the time, right? That's just like the nature.
We see it,
Yeah, we see that. So, in this case, it's notable, I guess, let's say, in part because there's this other tip, and in part, I guess, talk a little bit more about how, basically she didn't want to cooperate.
お尻から太ももにかけてのしびれに悩んでいる方を緊急で探しております。
Against Trump.
They followed up, and I wasn't just like, hey, there's this slideshow and here's this tip sheet. There's a 302 form, which is an FBI write-up of the interview with this woman who lawyered up, like, immediately, right? So she meets the FBI about 2 weeks or so, maybe 3 weeks after the tip was first called in by her friend, right? Whose first name is on the fucking sheet that they released, by the way. They have this long interview, and it's like 9 pages, and it's highly detailed. And she gives, it's all focused on Epstein. We have other stuff from this woman that I saw, like photographs that she provided. There are back and forth between this woman and her attorneys. There are several files associated with her.
54
that
files.
Seeing all this together, I'm like, the FBI took this person seriously. This is, regardless of whether the claim is true, and I'm not going there at all.
Sure.
I don't think anybody can, right? Speculate, but it's not helpful
true.
either way.
It's fucking true.
I don't think. And I mean, absolutely be skeptical of the claim, right?
Sure.
But the FBI took it.
But in that interview, they took it seriously. But in that interview, she's focused on Epstein.
On Epstein. And then Trump comes up in the interview. And this is how, she explains how she learned about Epstein, right? She's like, I did not know who Jeff Epstein was until he got arrested in 2019. And my friend, the one who called the tip and sent me this photo of Jeff Epstein next to Donald Trump, right? Who this person had also told the friend about. So she was like, is this the Jeff? You know? And she's like, right. Oh my God, that's the guy who made my life a nightmare. She tells the FBI, right? With her lawyer present, under penalty of prison if she lies to the FBI. And the photograph comes up and the FBI hears them talking about this photograph and they say, hey, what's this photograph? What is this? And the word president comes up in their conversation. Her and her lawyer, they hear that, president, what do you mean? And she kind of like freezes and she's like, well, she wants to crop the photo and she wants to crop somebody out of the photo. Right. And the lawyer says that she wants to do this because the client does not want to implicate anybody who's powerful out of fear of retaliation. Not like, we want to crop this person she doesn't have any idea about out of the photo. Some innocent person. Right, got it, yeah. Right, so it's out of fear of retaliation. That's the one time he comes up. And that's all we have as far as her interviews go. But I reported that first story like, hey, yeah, the FBI did talk to somebody and they did take her seriously. And seriously enough that claim was not only there, but like it survived and they put it at the top of this slideshow last summer. And there's like an email chain about this slideshow. It's pretty serious. And there's another email from last summer that says, it's also in preparation for this slideshow around the same time. And there's a list of these prominent names. And it's for positive hits in the Epstein case. And only one name has anything written next to it, has any notes next to it. And it's the first name, Donald Trump. And it says, paraphrasing here, a victim reported abuse by Trump when she was a minor, but ultimately refused to cooperate. Now, I don't want to put like too much emphasis on like the word like refuse. Like she's like, no, I don't want to, whatever. What that tells me is the FBI took it seriously enough that they at least considered opening a criminal investigation into Trump based on this woman's account, based on what she may have been able to corroborate. By the way, we don't know.
They dropped the ball so much, dude. And Biden could have crucified fucking Trump, dude. With Katie Johnson and this girl. Why? God. He could have destroyed Trump. Full-out investigation. Who gives a fuck anymore? Political. Fuck political. The guy is a pedo. He needs to be ripped out of America.
It seems unlikely based on what she's told us that there's anything to corroborate this claim, but that's not true necessarily because she has friends maybe at the time. The FBI might be able to find another way around it, right? But that's what it is. She refused to cooperate with the investigation. Later, there's a civil lawsuit against the Epstein estate that this victim joins as Jane Doe number.
Worst fucking ever, dude. Garland, dude. Just fucked up. Biden just fucked up. They should have put that guy, the prosecutor, he has his own pod. I can't think of his name. Justice Matters, dude. God, he should have appointed him as... That would have been amazing. I'm getting you. We're going, he would have just, he would have burnt their whole house down. Business as usual. Anyway, yeah, interesting. I haven't heard about all this. I'll have to fix that.
Represented by Lisa Bloom, and in her section of the complaint, she includes the allegation about Trump. That's the same thing. It's clearly about Trump. It does not name him, but it appears in there as well. That lawsuit, she ultimately settled, reportedly received a financial payment. The Post and Courier in South Carolina reported that she had been, got some sort of money out of it. She did not qualify for the Epstein Victims Fund, and we don't know why. Right, because there are also just different levels of population you have to be able to provide. We don't know, right? So none of this is probative or disprobative.
Bulwark Takes is sponsored by Soul. I've been more mindful about eliminating anything that is or takes.
I don't.
Can't say any more than that. But he was arrested.
Yeah.
In connection with the riot.
I think that's just a notable data point.
Yes.
Then we get to the cover-up part of this, and that is that they've already, as you mentioned, kind of removed some of the information related to this victim. We had a statement today by Robert Garcia, who's part of the House Oversight Committee on the Democrats, who said yesterday he reviewed the unredacted evidence logs at the Department of Justice. Oversight Democrats has confirmed the DOJ appears to have illegally withheld FBI interviews with this survivor, the one we've been speaking about, who accused President Trump of heinous crimes. Oversight Dems will open a parallel investigation into this. So,
this is where I think all the focus should be right now. She didn't speak to the FBI just once. Right? We have one of those interviews. She spoke to them 4 times. And all of those. So this is my reporting last week too. Like all of those interviews, all 4 that we know of. There could be more we don't know, right? But 4 that were handed over to Ghislaine Maxwell in 2021 as part of the discovery process to prepare for her trial, right? And they were non-testifying witness statements, right? So there's just a ton of these documents that were provided to her, and there's nothing, untoward about that. That's just normal CYA stuff for any prosecution, right? But that means that, so I found this document that the Justice Department deleted from their website. They restored after I reported it, right? They put it back up, but they pulled it down right after it was released. And this document is that evidence manifest. And it says, okay, she got all 4 interviews. She got notes associated with 3 of those interviews. There may be notes with the 4th, we don't know. And we don't have any of those. We only have 1. And there are 3 that Ghislaine Maxwell has.
Wow.
That they did not release to the public. So the idea there being okay, well, Ghislaine has this information. I don't know what's in those. Stephen Fowler at NPR reported he deduced that adds up, that material, if you just cross-check different, identifiers on those documents, that adds up to 53 pages of information from their conversations with this accuser. 53 pages is a lot because that first interview was just 9 pages, right? So 9 times 4 is 36. This is 53. Those other interviews, it certainly looks
9 times 6. We can just. I'm doing second grade math now, so it's 6 times, right?
Yeah, it's like 4 interviews, right? If they're all 9 pages, like the first one, I'm saying those other interviews, some of them must be way longer, right?
Yeah, got it.
And so we don't know what was discussed in any of this. And the Justice Department, again, by not giving it to the public in the release, allowing Ghislaine, she keeps it. She still has.
We should know.
この枕を使うと寝ている間に首の痛みが嘘のように和らぎます。最初は誰も信じてくれませんでしたが、今ではみんな欲しがってる。
It's part of the cover-up, and I guess the other thing is one thing we also know is that it's against the law, and they're required by law. It was basically a unanimous vote of the Congress to release that information.
Is it Troy Nels? Is that who
it wasn't Troy. It was my buddy down here in Louisiana. It was the Clay Higgins. Who is the one who wanted to protect the Epstein co-conspirators, whatever reason. You can go read his own rationale. All right, this is big. Obviously, you're still on this. We'll keep following it. Is there anything that I didn't ask you that you think is relevant to get on?
Yeah, I do want to say that the DOJ on Tuesday, when all this, the mainstream started picking it up, the DOJ put out a response in response to that the House Oversight statement, actually. And they said that all responsive documents have been produced. So 3 exceptions. 1 is a duplicate document, right? 2 is documents protected by privilege. And 3 is documents that are related to an ongoing federal investigation. So if that is the explanation, right, then one, these documents, this DOJ determined were for some reason not responsive, even though they were handed over to Ghislaine as part of her trial. That certainly makes them responsive, right? Okay, so then let's go on from there. So it's, all right, with duplicates. Okay, well, we know that they're duplicates because the DOJ actually said, prosecutors told this judge in SDNY in December, they said, hey, the stuff we gave Ghislaine, we also have copies of all of it, obviously, in our FBI files. And those are not subject to this protective order that Ghislaine is fighting, right? But DOJ took the hard route in releasing those documents, releasing them, the ones that were under the protective order, not the actual FBI case files. And they say in that filing that those case files are not subject to the protective order or whatever. Like, they have them and they can produce them. So yeah, there are duplicates, but they also should fall under the EFTA, right? The Epstein Files Transparency Act. All right, so that's the duplicates issue. The other two possibilities, right, are it would have to be an executive privilege, right? The privilege argument. I don't see how any of this could fall under attorney-client or director, right? So they would have to cite that, or they'd have to cite an ongoing federal investigation, which brings me back to Trump's old Bill Clinton tweet back in December, and who knows, right? Did they open up a sham investigation to say, well, these are part of that or whatever, or is there an ongoing investigation? We don't know. The explanation, just what I'm saying is, does not add up unless it's executive privilege.
I'm gonna get off. Good to see you again, brother. I'll catch you guys later. All right, bye.